You make the final call, Matt. Matt O'Brien.
Okay, there we go.
Sorry.
That was the longest silence in podcast history.
Hello and welcome to Is This Good? The show where we boldly, conclusively, and scientifically decide what things in this big wide world are good. I'm Matt Austin, and with me as always is production powerhouse Jason Doyle.
Hello.
Hi JD, thanks for coming, and today's guest is a stand-up comic you know from Just for Laughs, Conan, and as the winner of SiriusXM's Top Comic. We also have some very deep connections. We're all Canadian. Like JD, he podcasts with his wife, and like Matt, his name is also Matt. It almost seems impossible, but it's true. It's Matt O'Brien. Matt, welcome to Is This Good?
Thank you. That's the perfect intro. That's my whole life. You got my whole life in 2 sentences, actually. I don't know how you did it.
How do you feel about podcasting with your wife? I know JD, actually, so we do this podcast on Mondays, then we have another one that comes out Thursdays, it's just us. Then JD sort of enlisted his wife to be the producer of that show. Yeah. So she's recording it, pushing the buttons. Sometimes he gets frustrated with her. She claims that he doesn't tell her before the show what she's supposed to be doing. And of course, it's all great for content, but how is podcasting with your wife?
It's funny because, we're both comedians. We're around each other 24/7 because we don't have real jobs. And sometimes we'll talk about stuff on the podcast and it'll be like, oh, we probably should have talked about this in private first. Like it's almost like therapy without the therapist, which is probably bad. And yeah, it's just really funny, and people are probably like, you probably get sick of each other or whatever. I'm just like, no, we're around each other anyway. We'd be talking about this stuff anyway, so let's just record it and see what happens. So
yeah, let's get fucking paid for these petty squabbles we're having.
I don't get paid for any of it, but it's just all for fun.
Okay, so one thing I wanted to talk to you about off the top immediately. I saw this on Instagram. You are involved, and I believe starring in Fast and Furious the musical?
That is correct.
True?
Yes.
Okay.
Also a crazy sentence to say.
Yeah.
It was pre-pandemic, probably like 2019, and I saw an ad just for casting a musical, Fast and the Furious musical, and I was just like, whatever. I'm not doing anything. I just moved to LA. I'm just like, let's try, and I ended up booking it. And because I went to musical school growing up, so I was like, I might as well use those chops. And it's been crazy ever since. Like, we really put this insane show together, and it's sold out over almost 20 times in a row. And it looks like we're going to be doing it in New York off Broadway in the fall.
Holy shit!
Wow.
So it's really getting out of hand. I just thought it'd be a stupid small thing, and we've had like. Well, we almost got sued by Universal.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, because also it's America, and they're suing for everything down here. And so
Vin Diesel has zero sense of humor.
Yeah, of course. So he was probably just like, shut it down. But they showed up because first they were like, we're going to sue you. You have to stop this. And then they showed up and they got hammered and they heckled the musical, and they loved
Who's they?
it.
You mean an executive?
There was like a crew of Universal executives, and they just got so shit-faced. And they were like, when we said lines from movies, they'd be like, oh, God, shit. They were just like screaming the whole time. And then we saw them after, and they kind of hit one of the producers on the back, and he goes, we're not going to sue you. And then they just left. And that's the last we heard of them. So I guess that's best case scenario.
Wow.
That is great, because I would accept that. Like, you go to arbitration or something, and they're like, yep, no, we're going to sue you, or we will come to your show and ruin one performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would take that.
It kind of made it better because we did point them out off the top. The producers came out and they're like, also, those guys are from Universal. And they they cheered and went crazy. And they're like, let us know if you're going to sue us after the show. Like, they just put it all out. And so that's the best way it could have gone.
Who do you play in the music?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Who do you play?
That's a tough answer because I play like 7 different characters. They're just little character bits. My main character is a wacky inflatable tube man, because there's a scene where Vin goes to pick up one of his cars that he wants to blow up, and I'm friends with the car that he blows up. So there's like this, there's a lot of family tie-ins. So I'm not going to spoil it too much, but I am family to this car that Vin destroys, and I have a whole solo musical where I want people to have sex with me. It's very confusing, but that's one of them. I also play Hugh Grant at one point.
Wait, is he?
He's not.
Oh, okay. No, but he could be. By the way, JD and I, on JD's other podcast, it's an NBA show, and during the summer when there's no NBA, they sometimes do movie like recaps and reviews, and they did the entire Fast and Furious run, and I guessed on a few of those. I still have no idea I couldn't tell you what happened in 5 versus 7 versus 8.
They drive fast, they blow stuff up, and then they have a barbecue at the end. That's all you got to know. That's it.
Well, do you keep having to update it when a new installment comes up? Like when you're like, shit, now someone's got to be John Cena.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. We had to add John Cena. Well, first of all of the man parts are played by women in the musical. Okay. So they all put bald caps on and fake facial hair, and they're like legit singers, like literal pop stars, Broadway people. And so the woman that plays The Rock, Pamela, we have her as The Rock, and then all of a sudden The Rock's gone, and then she's just John Cena. So it's just like, because they're basically the same character, kind of. Yeah. So it's, we've had to update it like 8 different times throughout the years. And then when Fast X came out, because we completely recreate Fate of the Furious, which is like 8.
The submarine going through the ice?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what? I've never been more impressed with myself.
Yeah, this is shocking. You're like, oh, I've never seen them. Okay, but yeah, we
pull off my hat. I'm also wearing a bald cap.
Yeah, put me in. But no, we have had to update it a whole bunch of times. And then the second act is like kind of an original, weird story. So that's kind of going to be evergreen. But yeah, it's been really fun. It's like those things, because I've been doing stand-up for over 15 years, and sometimes I'm just like, I wish I could do kind of something different, and this was that something different, and it's like, sounds hacky, one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. I'm having a real nice time.
So you were in musicals as a kid?
Oh yeah, I went to St. Mary's Choir and Orchestra School in London, Ontario.
Oh wow!
And so I had to play musical instruments, so I played the cello. And then I sang in choir, and then we put on 2 musicals, Pied Piper of Hamelin and Bye Bye Birdie.
Oh, Bye Bye Birdie, a classic.
Yeah, it was a classic. And I remember my parents kind of forced me into it because my sister went. I'm like, I don't want to go to a musical school. I don't want to do this. And then it was one of those things. It's like, oh, no, I love this. It's like, I guess they know what's best for me or whatever. So,
yeah, and it's all chicks. I think you like... People that are not in the musical community don't fully understand the benefits of it.
It's total babes. I mean, that's the thing. Our whole cast is just these beautiful women that we put bald caps on. They're like all aesthetic, beautiful people. Everyone in the cast is beautiful, and then we just scum them up to make them look like they're in the Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, it's like the She's All That reveal, except instead of chunky glasses, it's a bald cap.
Backwards, yeah. Instead of her coming down the stairs, we're pushing her back up the stairs and putting a bald cap on her.
All right, so another question I had before we start, and this will actually get us into it. I saw you were on the Comedy Store's Pride Float. It's Pride Month.
Yeah.
So this is something we've discussed on the show before, but just to get into the is this good mindset. Are parades good? I think we batted it back and forth. I think I came to the conclusion that it was no, but mostly because there's too many bad parades. Like a Macy's Day Parade can go fuck. Like anything that's just an advertisement for something. But I remember saying Pride Parades is one of the only ones that I actually respect as a parade because the whole origin and point of it is for, gay, queer people to be public and loud and proud and kind of in your face. So there's actually a purpose behind it. But having just participated in one, how'd you feel about the parades?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah. Also, hate parades.
Okay.
So perfect. Love parades when I'm in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the most fun. The worst part was because they were like, okay, you got to be down at the float at like 10:30 a.m. or whatever. I was like, great. So we made it all the way down there, parked, walked like 30 minutes to the float. And then we waited on the float for, honest to God, like 3 hours before it moved at all. So we're just kind of drinking and everyone's just kind of partying or whatever. But it was legit very nice. And I'm not a dancer, but I'm like doing the old Tootsie Roll and like fucking flapping a fan and going crazy. And like, it was, and then you just looking at the people on the sidelines, they're like, it is legitimately every type of person you've ever seen on the planet was there and having a nice time. And you're just like, it's really just a parade for literally everybody. It's so, fuck all other parades. This is the one.
This is the one. And specifically the one you were in. But did you think like, okay, I'm going to be up there for, I don't know, whatever it is, 2-3 hours. Did you think about moves? I don't mean dance moves, but like, aside from waving, that's my thing.
Yeah.
What do you do? And it's either like, if you are like beauty queen, it's a slow wave. If you are like you on a comedy float, it's like a fast wave. Speed of wave seems to be the only variance on a float.
I chose two things, and I told my wife this because I'm really good at clacking a fan. Like when drag queens like clack a fan, they clack, 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 clack. So I taught myself how to do that while I was on the float. I was like, okay, people like this. I'll do it to the beat of the songs, and then people were doing it back to me. I'm like, okay, this is my one job. And then there was a bunch of bubble blowers. I'm like, I'm good at blowing bubbles. I'll blow bubbles. I'll clack the fan. That's all I'm doing. So I rotated those two moves, and my arm is killing me from fan clacking.
and boy, are my arms tired.
Yeah.
Blowing bubbles. That's a good one. I guess like you could have been doing like devil sticks or something like that.
Yeah.
This is just
they just keep going behind the float. You're just losing devil sticks. Also, the more I blew bubbles too, the more I'm just like, I see them going in people's eyes and faces. And I'm like, man, COVID is over. Everyone's just like, yeah. And I'm just like,
you're like, this is my spit actually.
Yeah, so it's just basically spit.
Did you have anything you were allowed to throw at them, like beads or candies or anything?
No, I never noticed that. There was a lot of rules. There were certain rules. There was like no jumping on the float. That was a big one. And if you're dancing, don't dance too hard. No twerking was a big one.
They told you no twerking at a pride parade?
Yeah, at first I thought it was a joke, and then a woman in front of me started twerking, and then the whole float was like going crazy. And
okay.
Because the guys from the Comedy Store that built it, they were like, listen, we're not construction guys. This thing's not safe. So it was very shakily made. So it was precarious. For sure.
Okay. They were like, no one do your closer, okay? We can't handle that much laughter on this thing.
There was a microphone at the back of it, and people were kind of doing bits. And
no.
I was waiting for somebody to do like a full 20-minute set or something. But thank God no one stepped up.
Okay, good. Some quick housekeeping before we start. If you want to support the show and get exclusive content, go to patreon.com/isthisgood. And you can send topics for future shows to isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. And of course, subscribe on YouTube. Matt, the premise of the show, it's simple. You've already done it, in fact. I'm going to give you a topic. You tell me if you think it's good. Cole R. asks, helping an elderly person across the street. Is this good? Cole writes, I always feel like it's a 50-50 gamble between them being grateful for the help or offended that you think they needed the help. I guess first question, is this something you've ever done? Have you ever helped an elderly person across the street?
Not to toot my own horn, but yes, of course I have. I'm not a monster. But
how did you approach the person? You saw they were struggling, you said, what's up, old man? And then you grabbed their arm?
Hey, you old fuck. And I grabbed him by the hair and I dragged him, whatever hair was left, his thin scalp. No, it was, the last one was like, first of all, they have to be decrepitly old. They have to be like beyond repair old. And I saw this woman and she was like struggling to get down the curb. So she was like kind of looking at it like she was looking over like a cliff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I like kind of put my arm out and then I kind of helped her the rest of the way. And I remember her not saying anything after that. Maybe she was embarrassed.
Yeah.
Maybe she made like a grunting noise, but she was very, very old. So old that I'm like, I should probably guide you to whatever doctor you need right now too, actually. Because that's the thing. It is a gamble because you're like, where does it end? Does it end at the end of the cross?
Right.
What have you signed up for here?
I mean, that's the social contract, I think, is
Yeah.
if you're going to offer to cross the street, you get them on the sidewalk and your work is done here, as far as I'm concerned.
It's almost equivalent to finding a baby in public. You're like, it's...
Where's the nearest fire station?
Yeah, you're like, do I drop this old person off at a fire hall or something, or just own an old person now? I don't know. It's, but yeah, they have to be very, very old.
Well, JD, how old is old? Like, do you feel like you're looking for a cane or a walker to be sure, or I mean, certainly carrying a person in their casket as a pallbearer. Then they're old enough. But
That's
before
right.
that,
Yeah.
it's a bit black and white. So how can you tell?
I mean, it's a cane, I think, minimum. Cane, then walker, then wheelchair, really. I mean, if somebody's manually trying to get themselves across the street, just, with pushing the wheels by themselves like a super old person.
Yeah.
I've done that before, where I've just grabbed the back of it and pushed them across. And that's what you want, actually. That's the easiest one. Because
I don't like that one. Because
Really?
you're behind them. So like you just start pushing them along.
Well, yeah,
and they feel as if a mighty wind has forced them across.
It's like you were never there.
And then you duck behind them so every time they turn around.
They start
right.
questioning their own strength.
Yeah, they're looking at their arms going, hey, I'm back.
I'm back, baby.
Now it's not just about their physical health, but their mental health and sanity as well. I think, you're right. A cane is a good thing to look for, because if you see an old person that doesn't have a cane, that probably needs one, they probably have that level of sort of vanity that if they're not going to have the help of a cane, they certainly don't want the help of a young whippersnapper.
Mm-hmm. What about a really old person carrying groceries? Are you taking the groceries? Are you like...
I honestly don't feel that people respond well to holding their possessions anymore.
Yeah.
I think
for sure.
I think the time has passed. I mean, even I think I might have told you, JD, like I was on a flight not that long ago, and a woman was traveling alone with her baby, and I like kids, and I offered her, I was like, because she was struggling to reach under the seat for the diaper bag and get the cream and hold the baby and contort herself. And I was like, oh, do you want me to hold your baby? She looked at me like I was fucking crazy. And I was like, I'm right next to you. I'm just going to hold your baby. And I won't even nestle it into my chest. I'll hold it.
Yeah, but in her mind, you were like...
Out. Laces out.
In her mind, you were like, you want me to hold your baby? Like your
It's
baby
all in the
said
tone.
Well, because I was kind of, knowing that, like the person that gets the responsibility should be the person that doesn't want the responsibility. So I was waiting for her to say, oh, I'm so sorry, would you mind?
Right.
But I had to come out and offer. And you're right. Now I immediately look like a creep.
Well, here, there's nothing more uncomfortable to the general public than a white guy traveling by himself. It's you're just like, where's this guy going? What did he do? Why is he being so friendly? Is he trying to make up for something?
That's right. It's like, I know the ticket says we're going to Toronto, but I'm pretty sure that white guy is just connecting to Thailand. He's always going to Thailand.
He's going to do something weird. He's absolutely doing something weird.
Okay, well, then similarly, Matt, where do you feel about pregnant woman on a bus? Another person that might need help, but it might be a sticky situation offering them help.
I can't think of a situation where I've offered help to a pregnant person and they turned it down. I don't know.
Well, what about offering them your seat?
Yeah. Yeah, I would absolutely do that. Also, thank you for thinking I still ride buses.
Well, you said podcast wasn't going so well. You're spending 3 hours a day on a float for free.
That's right. That's a type of bus. No, yeah, I always offer anything to pregnant women, of course. It's like, first of all, I can't even fathom going through pregnancy and being out and still doing stuff. So to have a little extra, some idiot being like, do you want to sit in this stupid, like, that's, yeah, of course.
You want to sit in this stupid seat?
You want to sit in this stupid seat or what?
I've been farting into it since I got on here.
Yeah.
It's all yours.
Aren't you ever concerned that she may not be pregnant?
Of course.
That's why I never offer. But I will, if I see a pregnant person get on the bus, I am going to just get up out of my seat.
Yeah.
And then it's hers for the taking, but I'm not offering because I don't want to get burned.
It's like
It's happened too many times before.
It's like the old woman across the road. They have to be super old, and in this case, they have to be burstingly pregnant. Like
Right.
you can see part of the baby already hanging out.
I mean, I'm just thinking about my dad. He's, mid-70s. I mean, I think of him and I think that's not old. But then I think, in a vacuum, that is old.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like my dad would think, JD, like if you offered him your seat on a bus, and again, well, neither of you are on the bus, but whatever, he would think that was insane, I think. I think he would be offended.
Right.
Yeah. 70s is not as old as it once used to be, I think. 'Cause, yeah, my dad's like 72. And I look at him, I'm like, you're not that. That doesn't make... And if somebody ever offered him help, he'd punch them in the face. Like,
Yeah.
he'd
My
smash
dad's
them.
the same. My dad's the same.
Right. Maybe the answer is help an older woman first, because women are more accepting of help than men.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now,
If you want to be
exception-
sexist,
Yeah, well, I would say one exception, the LAX bus that you have to get onto when you land to go to the Ubers.
Oh, man.
That's
the
a
armpit
feral,
bus.
lawless place. I'm not offering anyone anything. I'm tired.
Yeah.
The ride's
It
6 minutes.
stinks.
If you manage to get to LAX, you can get to the Uber place.
It could be freezing cold outside, and that bus is boiling hot.
I don't know
it
what
is-
they're doing in there.
It is like an air fryer bin that you get in with all your luggage, and it stinks, and everyone's miserable. And I remember the first time I flew without a mask after the pandemic, and I got in there, and I'm just like, oh, we're all generating a new variant, a new disease in this capsule. They're going to study whatever air comes out of this thing.
That was exactly me getting off a flight during COVID. I was a good boy. I wore the mask. And then you get on that bus and you're like, well, nothing's going to fucking...
Nothing matters. Yeah.
Nothing is going to save me now. I wouldn't even ask a man to remove his bag from a seat on that bus. That's like how cutthroat it is. If the Samsonite's on the seat, I'm not asking any favors from you.
I took a flight back from Florida recently. Missed the state of no COVID, and the only thing that got people to wear masks on the plane, because nobody was wearing masks, obviously this was like a couple months ago, but some guy barfed all over first class.
Oh, nice.
This is my first time flying first class. I was flying out for a thing, and I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm in first class. And then I heard the guy behind me ordering like double whiskeys, like multiple double whiskeys, and then an hour into the flight, he barfed all over the right side of first class, like all over the people, everything. And so everyone in first class is wearing masks after that. Wow. So we had to wear masks because it reeked of barf. And this guy was like sitting there in his underpants. It was crazy. I'm just like, wow, the rich are just like us.
And was it was anyone sitting next to him, or was it one seat, one seat?
This poor old man.
Oh my God.
Like old enough that, yeah, I would offer help in public spaces. He got up like this, which means like it was a bit dark, but I'm like, oh, when you get up with your arms up like this, like he was covered in barf.
oh my God.
They should, if you puke in first class, they should just send you back to coach. And hey, I fly coach, and I'm saying that's fine.
Yeah.
I know, because if you puke on in coach, like, I mean, there's nowhere back to go, so they just cut you off, and the shame is you're already in coach.
Yeah,
but I think that if
you
there's
should get
an extra
downgraded.
seat,
Absolutely.
okay, first you maybe, let's see, how would it work? You're too drunk, they want to cut you off, premium economy, then you puke, coach.
Keeps going back.
Shit yourself.
There's just like there's a pile of straw in the back, like a stall at a barn, and they push you into it, and they go, "Okay, you stupid idiot."
It's like a little petting zoo.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. When people need help navigating life's biggest decisions, they seek our wise counsel, and we deliver an airtight verdict. It's time to settle this. So in this segment, people write in with problems they're having, and we help them out. Hi, Matt. This year, neither of my brothers were going to send our mom anything for Mother's Day. No gift, no card, nothing. I bought my mom a nice bouquet via delivery and specifically left the card blank. I asked both of them if they had sent her a gift. They both confirmed they hadn't, and I offered to tell our mom the flowers were from all three of us if they wanted to chip in. They each sent me $50. My mom got the flowers on Mother's Day and sent a photo to me and my siblings to say thanks. I noticed the flowers were a bit brown and crumpled, so I wrote to the delivery service to say I wasn't happy with the way they looked, and they offered me a full refund, which I took. However, I did not tell my brothers about the refund. I could have, but considering they were not even going to get our mom a gift at all, and I had deliberately gone out of my way to make sure they were included in the gift I got her, I kind of think of the refund as a consideration tax. I was thoughtful enough to include them in the gift that I alone had shopped for and bought in advance with enough time to be delivered on Mother's Day, and without any of that being recognized, I think I deserved a little fat off the top. So settle this. Am I wrong to not have told my siblings about the refund, or is this justified? I guess first question, do you have siblings?
I have two older
So
sisters.
You have your sister that the musical school legacy.
Yes. The reason I got into the arts.
Another O'Brien, they said, probably when you came
God.
in. And this
Curse
time
you,
a boy?
O'Briens. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Mary and Joseph. Yeah, I have two older sisters. And first of all, the quick answer to this is that money it's in the world of gift now. Because whether or not they paid you, that is now you then give that money to your mom or get something else for your mom at that point.
Oh, okay. So you're okay with, but what? Okay, what about in this situation where they're just keeping the money? They say, "Mom already got the gift." Are you okay with just keeping it?
Absolutely not. No,
Okay.
I think that's insane. You're
think that's insane?
Then you're making money off of buying a gift for your mom. That's a special layer of hell. I think you're benefiting off.
Add to that, it's a shitty gift because the flowers were shitty. They were shitty flowers.
Yeah.
And they didn't send her new flowers. They just sent a refund to the original person. So you're going to live
that's a
with the
fair
fact
point.
that your mother has some shitty flowers that your brothers helped pay for. I got no problem with this person keeping the brother's money. In theory, that part of it I don't have a problem with. But I do agree with Matt. It should go back to the mom, or it live in gift world. Like, pay it forward. This is just bonus money that should be sent forward because there's something karma about this. It's about the mom, not the brothers, the mom.
Yeah,
Shitty flowers for Mother's Day, and you turn a profit. You triple your money or whatever. Double your money.
Quite, yeah.
Doesn't feel
math.
good.
No.
No, you're just basically refunded the money because this person spent, I guess, doing the math, $150.
Yeah.
Then they got a $100 reimbursement from the brothers.
Okay, that's twice what they paid originally.
No, they originally paid $150, and then everyone's kicking in $50 each.
Right. So I'm assuming this is a woman, actually. I don't know why. Probably because
Interesting.
she was thoughtful enough to come up with
a man would never do this.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Okay, what if I told you that I think there's three parts to a gift? Okay. One is the money. One is time, like time you spend to procure this item. And the third is thoughtfulness. And I guess I mean thoughtfulness, both in thoughtfulness of the gift and just thinking, oh, shit, it's Mother's Day. I need to get my mother a gift.
Right.
Yeah.
And the brothers only participated in one element of the gift, the money.
Right.
They didn't. They were completely thoughtless. Mm-hmm. Never mind what the gift was. They didn't even think to get a gift, and they spent zero time on it. They didn't have to figure out, like, oh shit, what place will actually deliver to wherever it is that my mom lives.
Right.
And so I think that this person saying consideration tax, I like it, and I think it should be used more often because this person should be compensated for their thoughtfulness and the time they put into it.
I mean, you could argue that, again, the sister...
Well, there's no way that this garbage mom had 3 kids and 2 of them were pieces of shit that didn't want to get her anything, but one was nice. No, I agree. It's a woman.
Yeah, it's a woman. So she gave her brothers a gift by being thoughtful enough to watch out for them and say, hey, I got this for mom. Chip in. So yeah, I agree with you there. But again, for me, it's the mom. It's on the mom side. It's
but the mom's getting the gift no matter what. The mom already got the. She loved it. The mother's used to not getting anything from her shitty family.
She didn't love it. She didn't love it.
I think you use the extra money to get another gift to make yourself look better than the brothers.
Yeah, but the person writing it is already the favorite child. It seems to me.
No, it's as one of 3. It's a constant struggle for power. So you have to make sure that you're the most powerful kid And that's the perfect way. You already thought of the gift, and then you have extra money for more gift to make yourself look even more better. Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You go, I know we all got these flowers for you, but I got you a little something extra on the side. And then she's like, oh my God.
This is from me.
Me and only me.
So do the O'Brien parents publish the O'Brien children power rankings every week? And you try constantly trying to move up?
Daily. It's an app we have to download. It's a point system, and it's very intense.
Have you ever made it to number one?
I'll be honest with you. I'm the youngest, so I think I've always had the leg up in that sense.
Right. Oh, our sweet baby boy.
I'm a little baby, and that's what I've been told my whole life. And my middle sister, she's always had the roughest time. Oldest, she was like, the intro to parenting. So she's a real wild card. But yeah, when growing up, I was like, oh yeah, I'm clearly maybe the favorite, or maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. And the voice of an angel.
Yeah.
And your sister's like, we sing too. Like, shut up.
But are you in Los Angeles?
As far away from us as possible.
Yeah.
So not great there. Okay, now what about, can we take this consideration tax thing and apply it to other things? Like, for instance, I plan a trip for you, JD. Like, we're going to Europe together or something. I plan the whole itinerary.
Okay.
Maybe I can get a consideration tax.
Okay.
And that maybe you buy me a dinner once.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
That sounds fair.
I make reservations. Like, we have a group trip coming up. Well, it's a work trip for Vegas, but we are going to be a bunch of people going out. I make the reservations. The people that are just sitting down for the reservation, they think for 0 seconds the pain in the ass that it takes to make a reservation, especially for a large party. And then they're like, well, now this time isn't good. I'm triangulating. Where's the show we're doing? Where are we staying? What's close by? What would be in everyone's price range? It's a lot of thought, quite frankly.
You're a travel agent. That's a travel agent.
I'm a travel agent.
Cut off the top? Why shouldn't you? I get that.
I guess the travel agent is making the kickback from the restaurant itself.
Sure.
But in this case, I'm asking for you to pay for my tip or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's legit. I mean, once you bring mothers into it, you're like, well, I can't, I got to give more to the mom, I guess. But if it's a friend doing stuff, you're like, yeah, give a little kickback for doing all the heavy work. I'm the type, my wife does all the reservations, when you said Europe trip, we're literally going to Europe in September, and she has spent, I want to say 100 hours, so much time. There was a time where she got up in the morning and it was like 9 a.m. and then literally till 9 p.m. she was on the couch and she's like, we're going to Venice. And she was like sweating and just like, I'm like she's planning this out so meticulously. So I was like, I will do whatever other heavy lifting. I'm going to learn how to drive manual for rental cars there.
Yeah,
like
smart.
I will do other
good
stuff.
Good savings on that.
Yeah. So if you're doing the planning, you'd absolutely deserve more.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, for instance, we're just about to go to Yosemite. I'm so deep in the Yosemite subreddit. I mean, I'm lurking. I'm not participating. But you start to take on the anxieties of all the sort of crazy people that are posting about going to Yosemite.
Yeah.
And so, for instance, there's this hike we're going on where there's people are arguing in this thread, should you do it like clockwise or counterclockwise? And they're arguing, well, if you go counterclockwise, you see the view from here. And then all these people are yelling about how if you do it clockwise, the views are better, but then the way down is much steeper and it's hurting all their knees. And I'm like, could you also please post how old you are? Because I don't know if this is a concern I should have as a 42-year-old man, or are you, 80? And if that's the case, then I'm not concerned at all. But it is, you do start to take on the stress of all the people that you're reading on the internet about the place you're going.
Oh, yeah. Subreddits for towns and cities I always check those. Like whenever I'm on tour, guys, Reddit has a subreddit for every single city out there. And depending on how small the town is, the subreddits are a gold mine. They're so funny. I was in Wilmington, North Carolina, and there's obviously nothing going on there. And
excuse me, that's where Dawson's Creek was filmed. You could.
That's true. That was it. Also, Iron Man 2, I think, is what one of the Iron Men was filmed there, which was weird. Yeah, they were really clinging to that fact. But I checked the subreddit, and one of the top Reddit posts was like, the barf pile outside the hardware store is getting bigger. And it was like, they're like, why is it getting bigger? Is someone adding to it? And everyone was just talking about this barf on the sidewalk in front of the hardware store. And I'm like, I love this town. It's good.
Yeah,
Also, the second time I mentioned barf on your podcast, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that there's a smell in the hardware store that is making people barf, or do you think people are holding in the barf
Interesting.
from parts unknown and then coming to barf there?
This is what the discussion was. Why is it getting bigger? What spawned it? Was it the bar next door? Probably. Maybe they're over-serving.
Well, okay.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
You don't need to be too big a detective to figure that out. I'm surprised at the nerve of people on Reddit that they'll just go to in a subreddit, like, let's say Italy, and they'll just go, I have 6 days free flying into Rome, flying out of, Venice. What should I do? Where should I go? Looking for restaurants, museums.
Where do I
people
go?
will respond to them.
Wow.
People will create itineraries for them. I mean, my answer would be, fuck you.
Yeah.
Do something.
My wife looked at the Paris Reddit and she saw a comment that was like, bad food, worse people, never been. It's like, what? What? Why are you saying this? And then people were like, how dare you? I'm like, don't comment. Don't respond to this. He's never even been. He doesn't know. And his handle was like Arizona Tom or something. It was like, this guy's never been. He doesn't even have a passport.
And they're called freedom fries.
Yeah.
Okay. It was
All right, Tom.
It's, I also love how people will yell at other people about they'll post their itinerary and be like, just kind of as a service, if you're looking for 10 days in Tuscany, here's kind of what we're doing. And people will be like, yeah, this sounds like a good itinerary. If you want to spend the entire time on a bus, and it's like, here in Italy, we take time to slow down and savor the finer things in life. A glass of wine on a porch, a slow meal hand-cooked by a nona. This is too fast. This is an American itinerary. I mean,
Oh my God.
But I guess you're opening yourself up to criticism.
People love to. I mean, internet comments have really gotten out of control. My wife has a bit about this now, but it's true. Like, she'll see like a reel about like making bread or something, and like one of the number one comments will be like, "Her voice sounds fucked." It's like, it's just stupid. Or like people will comment on my stand-up clips, and it'll be about me going to like a grocery store or something, and they'll be like, I don't like going to grocery stores. Like, that's the comment. It's like, who cares? Like, why did you have to say this?
My favorite is on cooking videos when people will complain about the thing that the person cooked as if the person was posing for, like, for instance, here's my recipe for a tres leches cake. And then someone will comment, what should I do if I'm allergic to milk? And it's like,
Yeah.
Don't make it. It's called 3 milks. It's not for you. Or they'll be like, I don't know, this is something like almond brittle toffee chocolate bites or something. And they're like, what should I do if I don't like almonds? Don't use almonds.
Yeah.
I don't know. And people will respond to them in good faith and be like, oh, maybe you could use this or that. I don't like. Fuck, the way that everyone feels that everything should be exactly for them the way they want it is insane to me.
It's ridiculous because they're like, it's on my phone. It's in my hand.
It's in my house.
It's for me. It's
for
being
me now.
told to me now. I saw somebody. It was like a fail army feed where it was just a bunch of fail videos or whatever, and one of the comments was like, the boy on the bike, is he okay? First of all, the whole thing was guys falling off bikes, and then this one person's like, but the young boy, is he okay? I'm sure fail army knows all the details.
Yeah. That was always my favorite part of America's Funniest Home Videos, when at the end Bob Saget would come on and show pictures of all the dads that got a baseball to the nuts telling you they were still okay.
Which hospital they're at, and how to send money.
Send flowers to.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, not everyone is going to agree with everything you say, but sometimes you have to stand alone on the edge of popular consensus. It's time for unpopular opinions. So these are unpopular opinions from across the internet, and we're going to decide if they're good or not, if we agree with them. Waking up at your usual time, but staying in bed longer, is better than sleeping in. So this person says, I'll usually have an alarm go off at 6 a.m. on weekdays, get ready, get to work around 9. On weekends, I'll keep the alarm at the same time, because those weekend morning hours when you're safe from emails, calls, pressing responsibilities, and any pressure to be productive are glorious. I'd much rather wake up at the same time and lay in bed with a coffee than sleep in late. After a sleep in, by the time you get going, it feels like you've missed most of the day and have been robbed of your day off. I'm a little bit torn on this one because this person does sound annoying.
Yeah.
And the whole point of a day off to me is to have the ability to waste it if you so choose. And and is that like you have a let's say a Wednesday off because you're working in comedy. The days are weird. You go day drinking. I would say that's a quote unquote waste of a day, but was it?
Yeah. I mean, wasn't yesterday. First of all, I can't sleep in anymore because my dog will not allow me to. My little Chihuahua sleeps under a blanket on the bed every day at 7:30. We'll get up and press both of her feet on my face and push me to get me up. So I can't sleep in. And I agree that waking up and sitting in bed and looking at your phone, I love way more. Coffee, though, any kind of food in the bedroom can go to hell. I find that disgusting.
How does a coffee arriving in your bed like that?
Also,
like,
that.
Yeah, you got to get up and you got to make it,
and then you're up.
Then you're up.
Yeah.
So why are you going back to bed with a coffee? It's silly.
That is a fair point. What about does anyone find this? This has nothing to do with this, but I find now when I wake up, the first thing I do is reach for my phone.
Yeah.
And not turn around and say good morning to my girlfriend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Partly because I don't know if she's awake, you know what I mean? Because she's got her back to me.
Good morning, honey.
DM her a recipe for tres leches cake. See if she responds. So I don't know. It is a good feeling to be on your phone in bed, but isn't it a good feeling to wake up feeling refreshed and sleep on the time when you can sleep?
I saw someone tweet this one time because I will literally look at my phone and look directly at the news, and then my day is ruined. And someone tweeted, they're like, "Oh, why is my mental health bad? I'm not supposed to immediately wake up and mainline all of the information immediately with my morning brain." Like
after the last thing you did before you closed your eyes was mainline the evening news that came through the pipeline.
Exactly. I mean, I have tried to change that routine, but it's tough. Well, because my wife will sleep in more than I will. So sometimes I'll lay in bed and just kind of look at my dumb phone or whatever. And sometimes I'm looking and I'm like, what am I looking for right now? I'm looking at emails. I'm like, what business is happening right now? It's 7 a.m. There's nothing happening.
Matt, we need you on the float.
Where were you?
Get your fan and your bubbles.
Yeah. No, laying in bed, I will every now and then I have a bed day where I'll like kind of play video games in bed or something and kind of like, cause I love using a day. I hate wasting a day. I like working on stuff. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I'll purposely be like, this is a bed day. I'm going to lay in bed, play video games, try not to look at my phone, watch stupid stuff. And that's nice. I like that.
It is. And I also think there is a lie about sleeping in. And the lie is that we think that if I get enough sleep tonight, I will be that guy that the alarm clock sound or whatever. I'll just wake up on my own, do the cartoon stretch, and then I'll hop right out of bed and get the day going. Yep. You could still, I mean, even if you sleep in, you're liable to waste so much time in bed. I don't know. You know what I'd love to clock? Shortest amount of time between waking up and getting out of bed that I've done in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Like I would like to think 15 seconds would be a nice number, but I don't think I've ever been less than a few minutes, which is kind of sad now that I think about it.
Which is crazy because I always read about these like big celebrities, like there's like Mark Wahlberg, RuPaul, Dolly Parton's. They're all like, I wake up at 4 a.m. every day. 4 a.m. is like the superstar work time for some reason. I've heard multiple people say that. I can't fathom ever doing that.
Well, I mean, it's funny because for Mark Wahlberg, it's definitely, I've seen his daily itinerary, and it is like workout 4 a.m., eat an oat.
Eat an oat.
Whatever. Eat one oat. Workout again at 6 a.m.
That's a secret.
Like literally, he'll work out like 4 times in a day. I don't know what Dolly Parton's doing. But then again, you hear from artists, I need to wake up at 4 because before the kids wake up or something is the only time when it's quiet and I can really get my thoughts on the page. In which case, that's fine. But this person's not talking. This person's talking about a day off. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I also feel like you can fight fatigue with logic sometimes. Like if you, sometimes you'll feel just as tired on 8 hours of sleep as on 4. And if you just tell yourself like, I got enough sleep, that is sometimes enough to carry you through the day.
I think a true day off has no rules. Don't set rules to your day off. Don't be like, okay, my day off tomorrow. Here, I'm going to start by waking up. I'm going to lay in bed this amount of time. I'm going to eat this. It's like, no, it's a fucking day off. Treat it as such.
Yeah, and be honest with yourself if you're going to write out what you're going to do, because you're going to be jerking off at least 3 times.
That's a day off, baby.
All right. Cruddy suits are worse than no suit at all, so people who can't afford decent suits shouldn't be forced to wear one. So this person writes, frankly, I hate menswear in general. It's rigid, freakishly obsessed with minute details, boring, and formal shoes are all ugly. Suits only look good until you need to do anything other than stand. Sitting, for instance, which you will be doing the majority of the time, or even moving your arms much. The shittiness of wearing a suit only disappears if you're rich enough to buy an expensive one and then ask some weirdo menswear guy to personally alter it so that it fits perfectly. That isn't how clothes are supposed to work, and yet we're still expected to show up to weddings in a suit? I guarantee you everyone would be better off without a bunch of people in ugly business clothes they didn't want to wear in the first place. First of all, if you're a tailor, you might not be happy to know your new name is Weirdo Menswear Guy.
Yeah. Everyone has been weird that I've dealt with, though. They get a little too close to the crotch. They're tugging, they're poking, they're pinning. They're breathing heavy. They're always heavily breathing. And they always have stuff hanging out of their mouths. And so they're weird. They're weird.
And they always look like someone you would need to help cross the street. You never age out of tailor.
Yeah. And sometimes their clothes are hanging off of them. And you're like, well, your clothes don't even fit.
Oh, my God. It's like getting a haircut from a guy with a bad haircut.
Yeah. It's an odd business. I mean, God bless them. But I agree with that, too. I agree with the whole suit thing, too. I don't like wearing a suit. I feel very tight. I don't feel like myself. I for one of my Just for Laughs galas, I wore a suit. And the second I stepped out on stage in front of 3,000 people, the first thing in my brain, I went, this was a mistake. Which should not be your first thought. I walked out there because I hadn't really walked in it enough. And I'm like, oops, I'm not me now. And then I just did a whole set and I hated it. So it's, suits stink.
And also, do you get this feeling like when you're wearing a suit that the audience is thinking, that's his dad's. He got that from his dad.
Yeah. Or they're like, well, look at this guy trying. So, because my face also didn't match the suit. I had a big beard at the time and kind of scruffy hair, but the suit was very like put together. I had like a pocket square. What am I doing with a pocket square? And I just watched that footage back. I'm like, I look like a real estate agent that's like trying to get people in like to timeshares or something. It was a nightmare.
But I would say, like, obviously you're dressed very casually now. You're podcasting. But other pictures I've seen of you, which sounds creepier than it is.
Oh, he's looking. He's perusing.
You're wearing button-down shirts a lot. You're
Hawaiian shirts.
Well,
there's buttons
still
on
a button-down. Do you steam those? Because I saw nary a crease.
Oh, wow. Not really. I just hang them up.
Hang dry. Nice.
Sometimes if it's a real good show, I'll take some steam to them or whatever. But that's the beauty of a Hawaiian shirt is it's loose and the patterns are complicated enough that it hides all of the imperfections. So it's a good show shirt, I find.
But do you think that you could wear a Hawaiian shirt enough that you become Hawaiian shirt guy, that when there is a wedding and you show up in a Hawaiian shirt, people are just like, it's Matt.
That's the dream. That is the dream. And I'm already halfway there. I've had other comics in town wear Hawaiian shirts on stage, and they're like, well, this guy's wearing Matt O'Brien's uniform. I'm like, yes. I'm almost there with the mustache, too. There's a lot of mustache comedians popping up, and I've heard them be like, what do you think, you're Matt O'Brien? I'm like, yes. Even though I'm not the first mustache guy, but I'm like, those are my two things.
But you're the first mustache Hawaiian shirt guy.
Well, other than Tom Selleck, which I get yelled at me all the time, yeah.
But Tom Selleck never did a tight 5 at the Comedy Store.
He better not have. I mean, that's all I have on him.
Do you think that now that we're in an age where almost no one wears suits to work, like, and I don't know, who wears suits to work still? Like
rich guy, old rich guys. I think.
Yeah, like if you're an investment banker or something,
or if you work at a funeral home.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now people just don't have suits anymore. So like for me, I have one suit and I only wear it to weddings, and it's from 10 years ago. So I don't know. maybe I'm lucky because I got to go to a wedding in September. That fashion will have come back around to when I purchased it, but I think it's too tight. I think it was from the skinny suit era.
Yeah, that was a time when skinny jeans were in, and then we're like, we're gonna make everything skinny.
Yeah,
I have one
I'm
of those
assuming.
too.
I'm assuming the suit has gone the way of the jean, where we're wearing it baggier now, or are we not?
I think so. I think we're more relaxed. I think it has to match your age as well. I think if you're at a certain age, it's like act your age in your suit.
I think we're wearing double-breasted jackets now, and I got news for you.
What?
I'm not even sure what that means.
I have no idea what that means. Is that
I
extra
used to
pockets?
think it meant one pocket on each side, but I don't think it means that.
It's
No.
2 sets of buttons.
Two
right?
sets of but
Yeah, so it's
pockets
sort
are on the
of-
breast, though.
I know. I don't
I'm
know
picturing
why
a puffy chest. Yeah, like you have extra breast.
It feels like the jacket an admiral would wear, or like a captain on a
That's right.
cruise would wear. That's double-breasted, right?
Big stiff shoulders. Yeah,
yeah,
very
okay.
uncomfortable.
Well, I don't think I want to do that, though. So I think I'm just
No.
going to wear this suit that is going to look shitty. And I think that this person is right in that sense, that I would look better if you gave me a free palette to play with. I think I could look better and feel more comfortable, because we all know you look better when you're more confident. But I also think that for a wedding, if someone wants you to wear a suit, it's part of the whole, this is a wedding. It isn't normal. It doesn't happen every day. So don't fucking dress like you do every day.
Also, the blazer is the least important part. Whatever's the button-up undershirt, because you're taking that blazer off immediately.
Right off. Right
after the ceremony, you're throwing it in the garbage, and then
wrapping
you're
the
eating.
tie around your forehead because it's time to party,
It's time to party, man. And you're eating and you're getting sloppy. So it's like the fancy part of a wedding lasts literally like, what, 30 minutes? 30, 40 minutes? And then dinner, you can kind of half do what you want. And then once the DJ starts, you're like, well, I could strip down to whatever the fuck I want. You see the bride, she's wearing like Spanx or something. Like, it's just like, there's whatever the fuck she wants at that point. So you're like, let's all do whatever we want.
Okay, right. So this person is wrong. Well, actually, one question though. When he says like making clothes that are specifically to fit you, and he says that's not how clothes are supposed to work. I was wondering, in an age when everyone just sewed their own clothes, isn't that probably exactly how clothes originally worked before factory, right? Like,
yeah.
Or would you just say, if you were the mother stitching something for your son in the Middle Ages, would you just say, I'm making this as big as your father, because it's probably as big as you'll get, and you grow into it because this just took me, you know, it took me 3 years to source the filaments.
Right.
Yeah. Put on your
even know what
sack
filaments
and
are.
go harvest the carrots. That's what she's saying.
All right, so get out of here with that unpopular opinion. But Matt, there's only one thing left to do. It's time for subjective trivia. So subjective trivia is just like regular trivia, except only I know the answer. And as a lead-in to this, you are taping a special, July 9th in Los Angeles. It is called, correct me if I'm wrong, and we didn't plan this with what you're wearing, Matt O'Brien, King of Kirkland.
Yes.
As a
Correct.
reference to the Costco's store brand.
Dynamite. Yes. I hope I don't get sued for that as well.
Is this like just a fun title, or is it a one-person show, 1 hour, beginning, middle, end, about sort of getting older, Birbiglia style, as seen through a Costco?
It is almost accidentally a one-person show. I just have been talking about Costco a lot on stage because once I started touring around like the middle America and stuff like that, I was like, what one thing really brings everyone together? And it's mentioning Costco and talking about Costco. And then I just started building it from there. I'm like, oh my God, I have 20, 30 minutes worth of just Costco material alone, which is insane. And then I kind of tied it in with like moving to the suburbs and how important Costco is when you move to the suburbs and stuff like that. So that's basically what it is. It's not all Costco jokes. It's mostly, but it's kind of like moving to the suburbs, going to Costco, that kind of thing.
It's mostly all Costco stuff, except for, of course, the Sam's Club chunk.
Yeah. Where I threatened to burn down a Sam's Club in the name of Costco. And even though I think it's the same company. Is it? I don't remember.
I don't think so. Or I thought Sam's Club was Walmart.
That might be it. Yeah.
But now, how did you get the guts to do Costco as only two people? I think it's just you and your wife, right?
It is. Yeah. At first, we're idiots. Because the first time we went there, I remember we bought like $600 worth of stuff And we're like, well, this is crazy. This is absolutely insane. But we use it. We're able to like get some worth out of it. And it's possible to do. And also it just feels good. It just feels good being just a member to something, that's you're just like, that's my place. And then you have your local Costco and you're just like that. You see the same people. Like I have a joke about this, but I saw my receipt checker in an Old Navy once. And it was like, I saw a celebrity. I like seeing them out in the old, I was like, oh my God, that's the guy that checks our receipts. Like that was she's like, what's wrong with you? You're sweating. It's like, it's just exciting to see them out.
Receipt checking in Costco, cashier at Old Navy. What can't they do?
Yeah, they do everything, man. It's out and about.
Okay, so we all know Costco's brand, Kirkland Signature. So today's question is, what is the best store brand based on name alone? Okay, so you're going name alone because some of these stores, like a Publix, their store brand is just called Publix. Aldi, Wegmans, I think it's just Wegmans. But I respect the stores where they put some effort into their store brand name. Like Kirkland. I don't even know if Kirkland's a good name, to be honest.
It's not great, but yeah.
But that one's not in the running. So JD, if you could please put up the options. So here's what you're choosing between. We've got Kroger's Private Selection. We've got Target's Good and Gather. We've got Whole Foods 365 Everyday Value. We've got Walmart's Great Value. And we have Loblaws President's Choice. If you're listening and you don't know what Loblaws is, travel outside your country. See some culture. Get that passport. This is a Canadian grocery store. It's like Canada's Kroger or Ralph's or whatever.
Ralph's, yeah.
And their brand is called President's Choice. And I don't care that we don't have a president, okay? Yep. We like to feel fancy in Canada. Mm-hmm. So, Matt, what does your gut say? I have my answer written on this card here. We're trying to get our answers to match. You can confer with JD. He does not know my answer.
Which one is the best one?
Best name alone. So
Just
we're not talking
alone.
about what the best products are, what the best stores.
The one I gravitate towards just seeing it and I hate is President's Choice.
Okay.
It's obviously nostalgic because I'm also Canadian, but I remember first seeing that growing up, and I'm like, oh, it's the president chose this.
Oh, wow.
Like that's how much higher can you get? And it was always fine. I like those cookies too. Those like decadent chocolate chip.
Oh yeah, those are good.
The Great Value, that just looks like too cheap and like dollars. Some of them they look like dollar store a little bit. But President's Choice has like a hoity-toityness to it.
It's got the cursive writing. And, you might think, like, I don't know what age you were, like, maybe, you're like, wow, Bill Clinton chose these. And then you were like, and now it's so good that, even though Bill Clinton's a Democrat, now that George W's in power, he's still selecting this as his choice.
He likes the same stuff. We're all the same.
It's what's bringing us together. But I was going to say that these seem to go in one of two ways. One, they're just telling you this is cheap as shit, right? Like great value or everyday value or something. But I also like when they go the other way, like Kroger, private selection. You know what I mean? It's like they're trying to make you think it's better. Their shitty Oreos are better than Oreos.
Like it's behind a vault door and someone's shushing you as you enter.
That's right. You have to ask. It's not on the floor. You have to ask for the private selection.
Give me a private selection of shitty cookies.
So we'll go down to the cookie cellar, sir, and see what we can find. Okay, so you're gravitating towards President's Choice. JD, do you think this is a good answer?
I think it's a great answer, but it is a bit of a homer pick, I think. I think the nostalgia may be playing on Matt a little bit. But I actually do legit think it's the best branding of all of them. And if it's not that, it's going to be the Kroger Private Selection. So it's one of the two. We're all Canadian. I say we go with President's Choice, but you make the final call, Matt. Matt O'Brien.
Okay, there we go.
Sorry.
I can't believe the show's about to end, and that's the first time that's happened.
That was the longest silence in podcast history.
You're like, Matt, silence. Matt O, silence.
Everyone's checking
Matt
to see if their podcast is still playing. Yeah. Also, I like that President's Choice looks like a signature. Like that's his signature. That's the President's Choice.
That's right.
Oh my God, that's what Abraham Lincoln's signature looked like.
Yeah. Why is he calling himself president in his signature? Yeah, it's President's Choice for sure. Yeah. I mean, as much as people hate grocery stores in Canada right now, I guess we could say that's the one.
Well, you are correct. It's President's Choice. Except I'm ripping it up because then I remembered that the other Loblaw store brand where they do clothing is called Joe Fresh.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the worst store brand.
Terrible.
How? What? Like, Joe Fresh, like, was it like personification? Like, we're supposed to think there's a guy named Joe and he's super fresh and cool? Or is it like Joe, like an everyday Joe, like everyone can be fresh? Either way.
I'm picturing the cigarette camel. That's what I'm, Joe.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the cigarette
That is a
camel is
fresh
what he
Joe.
wears. Yeah. Also, if you wanted, I thought you were going to mention Walmart's one for clothing, George.
I didn't even know that.
Oh my
Same.
God. The men's clothing, their brand is George. Just the name George.
Just straight up George.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like this. I remember seeing my dad's
terrible.
shirts from Walmart, and it says George on the tag. I was like, "Is this George's shirt? Like, what is this?"
Hey, well, if your name is George, and you're a kid, when you go to summer camp, you got one job taken out. You know, you
That's
don't have
it.
to sew your name on all those.
My damn shirt.
That is so bad.
It's bad.
I'd rather honestly they be called Great Value.
Yeah. That's
And do you
at
think
least
that
I
the
understand.
women's Walmart clothes have like are they called like Phyllis?
I haven't checked, and I feel like security would be alerted if I started checking tags in the women's section.
Fair. That is fair.
That's fair enough. All right. Well, congratulations on getting the subjective trivia right. As a reward, you can tell people where to find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Matt O'Brien. I just got my full name on there, and that's the only one that counts. So please follow me on that one.
What do you mean? Did you buy it from someone or something?
No, I just signed up for Instagram like day one.
Oh, okay.
I remember someone was like, I think this might be the new app. And I'm like, all right, I'll sign up for it. And it just got my name. So it's just Matt O'Brien.
Perfect.
And yes, the industry loves followers on that. So I need everyone to follow me.
All right.
Okay, and if you're in Los Angeles or want to travel, July 9th at it was Dynasty Typewriter?
Dynasty Typewriter, July 9th. New album, special guests. My wife is hosting, hilarious Julia Latkowitz. Also, one of the guests confirmed is Johnny Pemberton from the Fallout show. Very hilarious. And then also some other secret guests. So should be fun.
Okay, well then maybe I'll go so I can tell people on this show who the secret guests were.
Aha, Bill Clinton.
Oh my God, President's Choice?
Yeah.
And I brought my saxophone and a box of these cookies.
Yeah.
All right, remember to check us out, patreon.com/isthisgood. If you have topics, email us at isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Thanks so much to Matt for coming on. Thanks in advance for leaving a 5-star review for everyone. I'm Matt Austin, and this was good. We'll see you next week.